When I was initially introduced to Inscryption, I wasn't that into it. If you're familiar with me, then you'll know that horror games are not my cup of tea. Until now, my experience of deck builders has mostly consisted of playing Magic the Gathering in Miss Lloyd's science classroom in school and getting completely obliterated by literally everyone. It's billed as a dark and disturbing card-based odyssey blending the deck building, roguelike, escape room style puzzles, and psychological horror, and for the most part, that's exactly what it delivers. From creepy characters to a dark and foreboding atmosphere, this game certainly delivers on creepy. And if you like building decks, well, boy, do you build a deck. Now, I've got a fair bit of gaming experience under my belt, and I've been around the digital block a few times, dabbling in this and that and the other. So I was sat here one day, casually staring into the abyss, and just as the abyss started staring back at me, the thought hit me, Mike, why don't you actually have a go at reviewing the games that you play? And so here I am. I've postponed my abyss staring session to actually do a real, proper review. I mean, how hard can it be, right? Right? Okay. Right up front, I can honestly say I really enjoyed playing this game. And coming from someone who didn't expect to like a horror-themed deck builder, that's some really high praise. Oh! That said, there are a few things about Inscryption that hold it back from being perfect. We're going to be using a 4-point scale to rate each element of the game, starting with gameplay. And I'm going to give this game a 3. Inscryption really understands the assignment. And by that, I mean Devolver Digital are evil geniuses hell-bent on making me enjoy a game that I have no right enjoying, Daniel Mullins is the developer of this game. Both Devolver and Daniel Mullins games have really made something special here. It challenges you in ways that make you want to find out more, through both narrative and gameplay. One of the things I think they've really cracked is the satisfaction of discovering synergies between different cards, while at the same time finding out more about the lore of the game. Play along for now. Plus, there's even more satisfaction to be had by unlocking hidden secrets, solving puzzles, finding secret cards. What? There is one thing worth addressing, and that's the lack of communication. If you're pretty good at the game, you may get to the point where you're able to one-shot one of the bosses, and you are punished for this in a pretty brutal way. Oh no. But if you go back and play the Casey's mod version of the game, this doesn't happen. Except you're never told this, and it's not hinted at anywhere either. Oh no, they didn't do the trap anymore. Really? And that brings me on to... Get up and fetch it for me. Are you actually being serious? It's beside the safe. I hate you. I actually think you're really... For accessibility, I've given this a 4. Some of the mechanics may seem intimidating at first, but the game does a really great job by encouraging you to learn in tandem with the story. You are lacking sacrifices for that creature. Sacrifices? The base game is fairly simple to figure out, but the more advanced techniques are trickier to master. I think that most people will be able to pick up this game and understand it well enough to give it a go. There's no time clock on moves, all of the cards are easy to read, there are only 4 main mechanics to learn, which are damage, health, cost, and sigils, and you can jump in and out at any time. But there are some minor things that would have been appreciated, like explaining how you generate bones a bit more clearly, but that doesn't ruin the experience. And depending on your tolerance for horror, its unsettling vibes may put you off. Speaking of which... Okay, let me explain this one. Modern indie gaming is kind of like pick and mix sweets. There's a lot to choose from. Some of the things you always go for, some of the things you're not so sure about, and some are those weird foam bananas that don't taste like bananas but actually do. And the variety is extinct, so now you'll never get to eat that one specific type of banana anyway. And that's a real thing. Look it up. What I'm saying is indie games like to mix multiple genres together. Inscryption chooses to combine roguelikes, horror, puzzles, and deck building all into one, which creates a unique set of experiences where you get to see stuff like this. Terrifying. He's played the Snake of Doom, which is Stinky. Oh, it's the Stinky Snake. He played the Stinky Snake. Oh, no. And on the whole, I think it mostly hits the mark. Kinda, sorta. It gets a 2. See, as a deck builder, it's got a lot going for it. It's as intricate as you want to make it, and as I said earlier, there are a lot of cool synergies that you can play and mix and match between cards, and when you do, they're just... As a horror game, I'm not so sure. I just wouldn't bill this as a traditional horror game. I describe it more as a thriller than a horror, to be honest with you. Sure, there are a few freaky moments.
I actually hate this. That wasn't what I intended to do. Oh my god.
But that was about it for me. There's definitely a lot of intrigue generated throughout the game and the lore buried within, but I never really got that rising sense of dread or fearful anticipation. And I think that's due in part to the roguelike element. After you've done the loop a few times, the repetitive frustration that roguelikes instill overtakes the atmosphere.
I hate that.
You're now anticipating the scares rather than being surprised by them, leaving you wanting more. And for those reasons, it gets a 2. But on that note, now for the core question, the meat and potatoes, the thing that everyone wants to know before you buy: is this game worth what you pay for it? For a lot of people, this might be a maker and a breaker, so I'm taking this part very seriously. I want to take into account not only how much the game costs, but all of the things we've already talked about and the replayability of the game. And the answer to this one is very simple. 4. It's totally worth what you pay for it.
That feels so good!
At the time of recording, this game costs about £17. There's also another big thing that happens in the game, which contains some spoilers, so if you want to avoid those, skip to this time code. Did you skip? Okay, alright. Spoiler time. So about halfway through the game, there is a massive switch up where it totally changes genre.
What happened?
It's a massive twist that I didn't see coming, and it is amazing, revealing that you can choose your own adventure in the 3rd act, which is dope. And even then, when you complete the game, there is a whole other mod that's built into the base game, allowing you to keep playing, but with custom difficulty settings. There is so much game here for your money, and it will keep you entertained for as long as you don't throw your controller in rage over the fact that you died on the final boss with a 40-40 Ouroboros, and no, I am still not over that. And that's Inscryption. If you like roguelikes, you'll probably get on with it. If you like deck builders, I'm pretty sure you'll love it. Or if you're like me and just want to try something new and different that's so far removed from a standard AAA release, then this game has got a lot in store for you. If you want to see my live reactions to Inscryption, you can actually click this link right up here, and that will take you to the first Inscryption stream that I did. And thank you for listening to my first ever gaming review on the channel. If you like this content and you want to see more, why not hit the like button, or subscribe, or leave a comment, or send a carrier pigeon? I mean, it's your choice really, but whatever you do, that would help massively. And I appreciate you. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.